So, hey folks, I've got Ant here, and this week we're going to do something a little different because Ant has been, as long as you'll see last year and coming up, a bunch of co-op plays we've done.
Yes.
But I actually want to talk about the game you're working on right now. Petunia, I'm going to get it wrong.
Petunia, Pickle's Pumpkin Peril.
Yeah, which you've been working on, as you could see, to be published by Pond. And
thanks, Rob. Thanks for having me on board again. And for this opportunity to have a little chat about my upcoming C64 game. So, I work. I don't think we like saying the word work in Pond. I'm part of Pond. I am not actually the newest member anymore either.
Ooh.
But I'm relatively new. I'm still the T-boy, as I've been told. But Pond is a small little worldwide retro dev house, and Vanya Utne is she looks after us all from all the way from Norway, and we write games for old systems. So I'm currently writing a game for the C64.
So I guess the first thing is, what got you wanting to come back to retro dev on the 64, rather than toying around with stuff on modern platforms and whatnot?
Good question. I kind of always wanted to toy around with stuff on modern platforms, and I have dabbled a little bit in things like Unity. But the C64 is my love. I grew up with it as a kid, hence why we've been hanging together as well.
Yeah.
So that's been great. But like a lot of young folk who had a C64 or an 8-bit machine, you wanted to write games. These games are magical and wonderful, and I'd love to create something. I've always liked programming, and I've liked being creative, so those two things combined seem to be a perfect thing. And
so, when I was younger, I did dabble around with some horrible things on the 64. One of those is actually in Game Base.
Oh, yes, it is.
So did you ever actually get anything that was complete as a kid, or was it lots of just half-abandoned experiments?
It was actually not very many half-abandoned experiments. I dabbled in the shoot-'em-up construction kit very briefly, got very frustrated with it very, very quickly, so I put that aside. As everyone did, they make the balloon skate across the screen from the C64 manual. And I did dabble in some coding back then, just in BASIC.
Yep.
But I used to flick through the magazines and dream of having these monitors and assemblers to write real games in. Because I knew that the real games are written in assembly code.
So stuff like the Zap Diaries.
Yeah, it's certainly like Martin Walker's Way and the Andrew Braybrook Diaries and Jeff Minter's diaries that he's done as well. They were real inspirations.
Yeah, I know from experience, I definitely sort of lusted after that stuff. I think I always lusted after an action replay cart as a kid.
Me too. We couldn't afford one. Nah. I was very lucky, very fortunate that we even got a C64. We weren't very well to do. So that was fantastic. And I used to love typing in the type-ins from things like Compute, particular. And we used to, I've said this before in some of the Reset podcasts, but we used to sit around as a family and type in some of these games. I still remember typing in Rats, which was this amazing maze game written in BASIC.
Wow, I'm going to have to hunt that one down.
It's really good. It's a really good game. I think everything is all available online now. All the type-ins.
Most of those are all in Game Base or whatever. So I'll have to check that out. So so Suck-wise, you mentioned you dabbled with Suck, and that was sort of like your first step back.
Yes, yeah. So many, many, many years passed. I ended up working in IT, and I put aside any thoughts of doing game dev stuff.
Like many of us.
Yes, but then only like a year or so ago, there was the SIAC competition that was being run. Richard Bayless, wonderful chap, a very, very talented man. And I thought, I'll give that a go. I've always wanted to write a SIAC game, so I'm going to do it. And I actually had, before that, I had made one called Sopwiths and Pterodons.
Which is like one of the... this isn't sort of buttering up, but it was one of the first I've played where I really felt there was some good design sensibility in there.
Thanks. That is. I'm glad you noticed. I really took some effort into design a game, not just throw things in and you shoot it. Actually, I deliberately tried to make that so that there was distinct. There was ebbs and flows in the action, and there was a bit of foreshadowing of things in it, even though it's a simple concept. That wasn't for the competition. I did that. It was quite well received, and when the comp came around, I went, I might have a proper go. So I made Abyss of Naught, and it won the comp.
Well deserved.
Yeah, thanks.
Again, I see a lot of the stat design pacing in it. It's one that spits me out and throws me out.
Thanks.
It was tough.
Yeah, that was tough, and it was made very hard. That was using sideways Chuck. Then the Redux version was done as part of the prize by Richard Bayless. The Redux version with music and power-ups and everything.
Yeah.
It's actually, if I do say so myself, it's quite enjoyable with those extra things in there. And that's the thing, like with the shoot-'em-up construction kit, it's great, but it's a limited engine.
Yeah.
And even things like Redux, it's still... There's things you can't escape.
Yeah. Like, I remember having bad memories of various ones that were put together on ECP compilations.
Yeah, well, weirdly enough, so I was looking at buying... Are we talking about being on Facebook sites where you can buy games and stuff? There was a big lot going, and there was a game I hadn't seen before. I really like the really old-style games with the cool covers,
Yep.
but the games are really simple. And I found this game I'd never heard of before, and I looked it up on the Lemon database, and it's a Siak game. I couldn't believe it.
I thought that only happened through ECP in Australia.
No. Well, unless they're ECP, I didn't notice. But yeah, it was wow. It was like I couldn't believe it.
So you tinkered with Suck for a few years, and then you sort of got you the itch, and that's sort of how you moved to doing assembler.
Yes, so that's right. And then Reset, which is the magazine that we both work for, full disclosure.
Yeah.
Had their 4K game comp.
That's which was in issue 9. Was it 9 on? Now I can't remember if it was 9 or 9. No, I think it was 9.5.
I think it was 9.5. I can't quite remember.
I'll pop links in the video description so you can check all this stuff out that we're talking about.
He'll do that. Yeah, so I thought, I've always wanted to program in assembly code, and I decided to enter the comp 3 weeks from the deadline. Stupidly, no. So I went, now this is easy. All I need to do is learn assembly code and write a game in 3 weeks, whilst having a full-time job and family and all my other commitments. So that was wow, you talk about crunch time. I crunched about 3 weeks, had permission from my very patient wife that I could block some time out to do this. Went through all the ebbs and flows of panic. I remember the game, like submission day, everything stopped working.
Oh no.
And I was actually going out to my daughter's band recital. Nothing was working, and I just went, oh well, that's fine. Came back, had to think, fixed the bug in literally 30 seconds.
Excellent.
Yeah, so that was good. So that was my Cabbages game. I can't remember what I called my Cabbages game.
Attack of the
Mutant Cabbages. That's right. Yes, it went through several name changes. Yes, Attack of the Mutant Cabbages.
Was that one? So was that an idea you had for the compare, or did you ever was that one that was pottering around in the dark recesses of your mind?
I'm glad you asked. That was pottering around in the dark recesses of my mind. That was actually a concept that I worked on way back when I was a kid.
Wow.
Dabbling with the shoot-'em-up construction kit, and I got tired of that, and I did the balloon thing. And I went, I'll do my own sprite. Had a little bouncing cabbage. I was probably inspired by Cauldron 2, maybe, or Cauldron.
Yeah, Cauldron 2, yeah.
Yeah, the little bouncing green cabbage. Yeah. And I actually found that tape recently at my parents' place.
Nice.
And I actually grabbed all the images, I made images of the tape, and resurrected it all, and I've got like 7 different versions of this cabbage bouncing around the screen.
That's so cool. I mean, I have a disc of stuff. Some of the stuff I hacked on when I was a kid. Not all of it. Not the very first thing I tried to write.
But keeping that stuff is awesome. It was really great. I couldn't believe that A, my parents found the box of old tapes, B, that tape was in it, and C, it worked, and I managed to get everything off of it.
Nice.
And when I say everything, it really wasn't much. It was more like a bouncing thing with various states of gravity of impacting and stuff. But it was neat to see that after I'd actually entered the comp, and I think I came 7th in the comp, which is more than I expected, far more than I expected. There were some wonderful, wonderful games in there.
Oh, absolutely.
And Vanya actually won 1st and 2nd place, I believe.
Yeah, that's right, for Goblin.
Goblin and Dog.
Yeah.
Very
dug Goblin.
Awesome games.
I'm hoping she does come back to revisit it.
Yes, I hope so too. But yeah, there were some good entries from a bunch of Pondies, actually.
A lot of good ones there.
Yeah. And Pondies are all wonderful people. The whole Pond group.
That is no surprise.
They're all very, very lovely. I'm very thankful to them for their support. So that happened, and then, speaking of Pond, Vanya approached me and said, hey, I really liked... Well, she actually did the music for Cabbages, because she saw that it was coming along, and she offered to do some music for it. So, and the music in that is hers, and then we worked sort of quite well together, and she went, hey, I knew she was in Pond, and she said, hey, do you want to join? And I was floored. I think I acted very casual, but I was really, really touched by that offer. I think she said, because you started and you made something and it wasn't super terrible, come on board. So
that's always a good sign.
And so I joined.
And yeah, so now with Pumpkins, so I guess with Pumpkin Kernel, just describe that sort of the concept to the viewers.
Sure. Well, the Pumpkins was always going to be like a redux of the Cabbages game I did for the 4K comp. It's effectively a single screen shooter, so it's certainly not complex by any means, and Cabbages was the same. It was a single screen shooter. I guess it had Cabbages was kind of described as a mix between Dig Dug and Plants vs Zombies sort of in a way. I think that's a good way of describing it. I wanted to take that gameplay and enhance it for Pumpkins. Vanya originally said, just keep it, maybe make it 8K, keep it sort of small and simple. And I mean, that's a good idea. And then things expanded, and now it's kind of almost like a full-fledged game. Massive scope creep, but I am actually controlling the scope, to be honest.
That's good to hear.
I kind of set the scope very early on. It hasn't changed very much from the beginning.
Nice.
Again, Vanya's provided amazing music, as she does, and some sound effects, and she's been awesome with some of the design. She's done an absolutely beautiful art for it, the loading screen art.
Yeah, that's the
title art.
I guess people who bought Bear would have seen that, because that was like one of the little things.
It came on a card, yeah. So there was she did some sort of mock-ups of the business card, and so that came on there. And so she did awesome art of Petunia, zapping some pumpkins.
Has she posted a loading picture for that?
I'm not sure if she has. I think we were maybe saving it till the full game release potentially.
Right.
I'm not really sure.
Yeah. But what I've seen, that looks good.
Yeah, it's really lovely. All done on the C64, and she's such a talented artist. Really, really great.
So yeah, so right now you're sort of coming close to releasing a little teaser demo of it.
A teaser is a great word for it. I think I've actually been calling it a teaser, sort of in-house. So not that the game itself is huge. It is just a single screen shooter as such, but I've got a pared down version. It's really just the score attack mode of the game, so it just never ends until you die, pretty much, just to see what high score you can get. But it's got the core elements of the gameplay there. It's cut down, so it doesn't have all the bad guys in it. It doesn't have power-ups. I'm just going to have some simple power-ups. But it's got the core elements, which is basically cabbages are invading, and you got to grab your pumpkins and put your pumpkins in your cauldrons and keep your magic level topped up, and it's a bit of a balancing act between the two.
Nice. You've shown me, I've had a quick play of it just before we sat down to record, and I'm really liking the feel of it. There's that sort of score attack feel, good little like twist on a fairly simple formula. Like you were talking about earlier with where its roots in Cabbages being like this Dig Dug versus Plants vs Zombies things. I really like where you've gone with it, and you posted up a teaser of the teaser,
pretty much
close to a week ago, and I just seeing everyone just explode. Like we all lost our stuff in the Reset team chat, and then you posted it. And it's just like everyone's falling over for it, which is really good.
The response has been really great. There's been some amazing C64 games released recently over the last few months, like just phenomenal ones. And
this year in general has been amazing.
It's just been really, really, really great. And I'm not in that league, I don't think, but I think Cabbages is a pumpkin. Sorry, wait. Cabbages was a fun little game, but Pumpkins, I think, takes the Cabbages formula and really has. I think I've hit that goal where it's enhanced the Cabbages formula to a point that I'm really quite happy with. There's some nice balance there. I do have some things I still want to fold in for the full release, and that's not going to be in the demo. The demo is going to be quite simple, but it's more to show that core element of the gameplay. So if you saw that little teaser I put up, that's effectively pretty much like what the demo is going to be like, maybe with a little bit extra.
Yeah, I'm hoping to we'll have some footage up. I'll have footage showing you the demo as well, and hopefully I'm planning to push this out once you've actually released, so hopefully some people will be on board and able to have hopefully had a chance to play it and listen to a bit behind the scenes.
Fantastic. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, so hopefully it'll be out. The teaser demo will be out relatively soon. I'm not going to set a time frame yet for the full release as yet. Fingers crossed we can get a physical release like Bare Essentials at some point in time, which is, by the way, a fantastic game released by Pond by Graham Axton.
And My Game of 2016.
Yes, exactly right. So make sure you check that out. It's free to download, and I think you can still buy physical copies.
I think still a tape run. I think I saw Vanya talking about possibly the third disc run.
Potentially, yes. Yeah. So we're hoping for a tape run for Pumpkins and a disc run. I'd love to do a cart version personally. But we'll see how we go.
Yeah, that requires a little more work.
There is a bit more involved in that. But yeah, I'm really happy with how the game is shaping up, and thank you for your feedback.
Of course.
During development as well, and after that brief playthrough.
Yeah. So I guess the next thing is for peeps who want to sort of keep track on it. What's the best way they can keep in touch?
Twitter is definitely the best place. So I am at AntStiller.
That'll be in the description as well.
On Twitter. So if you look back, you'll see my last little GIF I put up about Pumpkins. So that's a good sort of teaser for what that demo or teaser release is going to be like, and also what the full game will be like down the track.
Sounds excellent.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for sitting down and chatting Pumpkins. Hopefully a lot of people check it out and have a blast.
Me too.
Looking forward to playing more of it when I get a chance to settle down after the chaos of Games Week and PAX.
Yes, it's been a crazy week. So thanks for fitting me in, Rob. I really appreciate it.
It's always worth it. It's always good, and I hope people look forward to the co-op stuff we've got coming up, which I'll probably put up over Christmas.
Excellent. That's great.
Thanks again. And as always, if you enjoyed this, do consider hitting the subscribe button. Click that little bell for notifications as well. Hopefully check out Pumpkins. Do let us know what you think. Any good Ant is always interested in some good feedback.
Absolutely.
And can't wait for the full version to drop.
Thanks. Awesome.
Thanks again. Catch you next time.